Welcome to the 2019 Convocation Red Carpet Preview Show. We are your hosts. I'm Taylor Winkle with Channel 5 News.
And I'm Daniel Robledo, a junior at Wesco High School. Today we're going to have some fun with some prizes and guest speakers. Isn't that right, Taylor?
That's right. And to get things started off, we're joined by Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Canales. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here, Taylor. We're excited to have you.
Oh, thank you. So tell us a little bit about our theme today, WISD, We Read, We Lead.
We do read and we do lead in Wesco ISD. It's a continuation of our themes from previous years. We were lit for literacy, we read, we dream, we achieve, and now we're reading for leadership in Wesco ISD.
Okay, and you are an avid reader. Tell us about your favorite books that you read this summer.
Well, I am an avid reader. I spent a lot of time this summer reading fiction. I usually don't do that. So one of my favorite books was Maya Angelou's All God's Children Need Traveling Shoes. So it's about her experience in the 60s. It's about giving and becoming the best that you can so that you give to self, you give to family, and you give to others. So in Wesco ISD, that's what we're about, knowing, valuing, and inspiring our children and each other.
Okay, we'll have to check that book out. Tell us a little bit about the program. What can we expect today?
A lot of fun, a lot of energy. We're ready for the year. We know great things are going to happen in 1920, and we're ready to just kick it off and have all our wonderful students join us next Monday for the first day of school.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will see you inside on stage. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel, back over to you.
Thanks, Taylor. I'm here with Dr. Gamboa, principal of Wesco East High School. Dr. Gamboa, so what are you looking forward to this year at Wesco East?
I'm looking forward to working with an amazing staff that I currently work with, and one that goes to battle with me every single day and meeting the needs of the students that we serve each and every day. So I'm looking forward to working with our staff.
That's great. So tell us about the latest book you've been reading.
You know what? It's an interesting story. So this summer, I noticed my son is reading a book that I had never read before, which is The Outsiders. So as he's reading it over the summer, I decided to pick it up and read it myself. And then what the best part was is that we were able to watch the movie together. So it was an amazing, amazing experience.
That's a great book. I remember reading it in 6th grade. So, so how are you going to get your staff excited for the new school year?
Well, one of the things that we keep talking about throughout the year is that we need to forge those relationships with those kids. We want to give them the opportunity to come over here and a reason for them to come to East so they can get the education they need and go and make Wesco ISD the district and the right choice to be.
That's great. You have a great year, Doctor. What's next, Taylor?
Well, we are waiting to meet our two wonderful MCs. They are standing by inside. Take it away, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Jordan Cancino, a junior at Wesco High School.
And I'm Mario Trevino, a senior at the East Side Strong Side, Wesco East High School.
We're here to remind you that reading 20 minutes a day will expose your brain to 1.8 million words in a year. And students who read 20 minutes a day will score in the 90th percentile on a standardized test.
And we also want to remind you about leadership, sticking with our theme, WISD, We Read, We Lead. Encouraging student leaderships teaches students how to plan events, organize time, improve their public speaking, and most importantly, lead others.
You'll hear more from us later, but right now it's back to Taylor and Daniel.
Yeah, we are joined now with Fine Arts Coordinator Ron Bissett. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in today's program.
You're going to be seeing some very good entertainment this morning, or this afternoon rather. It is being done by some alumni, some staff, and by our wonderful fine arts students here at Wesco ISD.
Okay, and I do understand that you guys just won another NAM award. Tell us a little bit about that.
The NAM award is given to school districts that submit a survey, and they're selected nationally to receive this designation, and this is the second consecutive year that we've gotten this. I'm very proud of our music teachers and the emphasis that our district puts on music education.
All right, well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing that show.
Thank you.
Now, earlier, we had an opportunity to speak with our two Teachers of the Year from Wesco ISD.
That's right. They are Marciela Galvan from Margot Elementary and Homer Kalunga from Wesco East High School. Here's that interview now.
We're here at Wesco East High School, home of Secondary Teacher of the Year, Homer Kalunga. Mr. Kalunga, I heard you're a proud graduate of Wesco East High School. What can you say about that?
Well, definitely. I graduated. I'm part of the second graduating class from here at Wesco East High School, class of 2005. And it was great to be a student here, and it's even greater to be a teacher here. And it's really an opportunity for me to give back to the community that has given so much to me.
That's great. We actually have your yearbook here. Yes.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen this in a while.
Perhaps try opening your eyes. You kind of look like Forrest Gump a little bit. But seriously, what advice do you have for your fellow colleagues to make the school year interesting for the student?
Well, definitely, I think we need to take a look at what we're doing in the class, recognize that we have learners at different levels and students that just learn differently. We need to provide opportunities for students to have voice and choice in what it is that they're learning and what it is that they're doing in our classrooms.
Are you excited about the new school year?
I'm definitely excited about the new school year. It always brings its different challenges, its different faces, different opportunities, and I'm really looking forward to meeting my students and working with them a lot closer and teaching them math.
Now we're here at Margo Elementary, home of WISD Teacher of the Year, Marisela Galvan. Ms. Galvan, I hear you work with your mom here at school. Tell me what that's like.
Well, I love it. It's working. I get to come to work and work with my best friend, and she gets to work with her favorite child. Haha, Fred from Ibarra Elementary. I'm the favorite.
Does she still treat you like a 12-year-old?
Sometimes, especially when I miss lunch because I'm trying to make copies or, we don't have time, so we have to, work around our lunch. And so she reminds me, you have to stop and you have to come and eat. So don't forget breakfast.
But seriously, what advice do you have for your fellow colleagues about making this an interesting year for your students?
Well, every year it's like a new canvas. We get to start fresh. We get a new set of kids. We have challenges, but the good thing is that we have the best job. We get to mold the little minds of our future doctors, our future lawyers, engineers, and so it's a clean slate, so anything is possible.
All right, looks like we are ready to sit back and win some prizes.
And listen to some guest speakers as we kick off the 2019 Convocation.
Here comes a wave meant to wash me away, a tide that is taking me under, swallowing sand with nothing to say, my voice drowned out in the thunder. But I won't cry, and I won't start to crumble whenever they try to shut me or cut me down. I won't be silenced. You can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless. 'Cause I'll breathe when they try to suffocate me. Don't you underestimate me, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. Written in stone, every rule, every word, centuries old
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to 2019 Convocation. WISD, we read, we lead. How about a big hand for Victoria Corona, who is from West KWES High School? A graduate 2018, and now she is at A&M Kingsville. She did an outstanding job. Also, we'd like to have a big hand for Daniel Robledo and Taylor Winkle from KRGV Channel 5, our red carpet hosts. All right, how about a few shout outs? Let's find out who is here today, who has the energy this afternoon. Let's hear it for safety and security. Custodial department, where you at, custodial department? Upstairs, we have transportation. Transportation, make some noise. They got it made up there. Anybody here from central office? KWES crew? Anybody else? Business office? Let's hear from our schools now. Horton AEP. Okay. Northbridge Elementary. Okay. Ibarra Elementary. Where's your spirit? Margot Elementary. Woo. Rico Elementary. Okay. Airport Elementary. Mary Hogue Middle School. Mary Hogue Jaguars. Cuellar Middle School. Cuellar. All right. CTE Early College High School. And Eastside, Strongside, West KWES. All right, now that everybody is warmed up and ready to go, we're going to send it to our student MCs. How about a big hand for West KWES Mario Trevino and West High School's Jordan Cancino.
Welcome everyone to the 2019 Convocation. Now before we get started, I would like to give a big shout out to my mom and my dad who are in the stands right now. Love you both. That's her over there. Okay, how about a big hand for our entertainment to open up the program?
Before we go any further, can everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors by the West East High School JROTC under the direction of Sergeant First Class Mario A. Ramirez. The color guard members are Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alberto Rodriguez, Cadet Captain Gustavo Serna, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Kaylee Casas, Cadet Major Kayla de la Paz. The national anthem will be sung by Sarai Valdez of Gonzalez Elementary.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last whose broad streets and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and
Thank you, Sarai. And now it's time for the invocation, led by WISD Director of Bilingual ESL Assessment and Accountability, Elias Trevino.
Would you bow your heads? Let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here this afternoon. Thank you for the blessing of life and health and just the blessings that you bestow upon us every single day of our lives. Thank you that we work for the greatest district, Weslaco ISD. We are blessed beyond measure. I thank you for our superintendent, our board members. I thank you for the heart that you've placed within them and all of our staff members, that we put children first. We thank you for the privilege of being educators, teachers, the greatest profession. You were a teacher, you were a giver, and we want to continue to do the same. Father, open our hearts, open our minds, give us wisdom, give us understanding throughout this year, Lord God, as your word tells us in the book of Proverbs, how much better it is to get wisdom than gold and to get understanding than silver. Father, we ask you that we receive and welcome our students, all our 17,000 plus students. We welcome them with open arms. We teach them with all our hearts, and we love them throughout the year, Lord God, no matter their situation, no matter what they're coming with, Lord God. We will be a place of hope for them, a place of joy. We'll be careful to give you all the glory and all the honor, for only you are worthy to be praised. In Jesus' mighty name, we ask all things. Amen.
Amen.
All right. It's now time for the introduction of the schools as we welcome the principals and their Teacher of the Year. Let's hear it for Horton AEP Principal Roger Perez and Teacher of the Year, Marcus Garza.
Make some noise for Northbridge Elementary Principal Dan Buttermer and Teacher of the Year, Rebecca Luna.
Let's make some noise for Ibarra Elementary Principal Linda Hernandez and Teacher of the Year, Dory Rodriguez.
Let's hear it for Margot Elementary Principal Ruby Martinez and Teacher of the Year, Marisela Galvan.
Who can forget about Rico Elementary Principal Jacqueline Padilla, Teacher of the Year, Orfelina Salinas.
Keep it going for Airport Elementary Principal Ida Cuadra and Teacher of the Year, Lilia Carrion.
Mary Hogue Middle School, Principal Pablo Vallejo, Teacher of the Year, Francisco Garcia.
Get loud for KWES Middle School, Principal Desi Rodriguez, and Teacher of the Year, Paulino Gonzalez.
So you need me cry.
Let's hear it for CTE Early College High School Principal Marco Zamora, Teacher of the Year Ana Mena Ortega. Can't forget about the East Side Strong Side, Principal Dr. David Gamboa, Teacher of the Year, Homer Colunga.
Lucky you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you.
Please welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales. Now let's hit WISD administration. Today, we have members of the Superintendent's Cabinet. Michael De La Rosa, Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits. Carlos Martinez, Executive Director of Technology. Segura, Director of Human Resources. Oscar Diojas, Athletic Director. Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance, Andres Sanchez. Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Support Services, Sergio Garcia. Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education and Leadership, Abel Aguilar. Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education and Leadership, Sue Peterson. Let's give a big hand. Woo!
We would also like to recognize our school board. We have Trustee Patrick Kennedy, Trustee Armando Cuellar, Trustee Dr. Jaime Rodriguez, Trustee Erasmo Lopez, Board Vice President Dr. Richard Rivera, Board Secretary Andrew Gonzalez, and our Board President Isidoro Nieto. At this time, let's have a warm welcome for our Board President Isidoro Nieto.
Good morning. Oh, I mean, that was this morning, right? Good afternoon. On behalf of the School Board of Trustees, our other gentlemen couldn't be here because they have prior commitments, so Coach Cuellar and myself will be here today. So anyway, special thank you to all the Board of Trustees. Good afternoon, WISD faculty and staff. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 2019-2020 school year. I pray that each one of you had a wonderful, restful, and memorable summer break. For starters, how many of you are brand new to WISD? Please stand. If you're brand new to WISD, please stand. Welcome to the best district in the valley. Each year we find ourselves here in this very auditorium, ready to kick-start a new year. We start here, then off we go to meet the parent night, awards assemblies, testing season, graduation ceremonies, and then summer break. How quickly the year goes by, right? And having been an educator myself, I know summer breaks are crucial. For some, a child graduating from high school and off to college. For others, a wedding, either yours or your child's or a family member. And yet others, the birth of a child or a grandchild. These very significant life events are embedded into our hearts and minds forever, just as it is the first day of school for our 16,000 plus students. I must say, we are truly blessed to live in a community where we invest our future by having the ability to monetarily reward our faculty and staff for their hard work, provide high-end facilities that are fully equipped with resources and materials to meet all students' needs, and to create positive experiences that encourage students to love learning. In a few days, students will return, some for the very first time, like our little Zoe, who starts pre-K this year, and others yet, another like the Justins out there, the Kristins, the Laylas, or the Giannas. Another year of excitement, adventure, exploration, and challenges that only you as WISD teachers and staff can provide them. We, your WISD Board of Trustees, are excited to see what great things will come this year. We trust that under the direction and leadership of Dr. Priscilla Canales, West Coast students will have great opportunities to succeed. For the last 3 years, Dr. Canales has afforded our district great improvement and achievements, and we are grateful to her and all faculty and staff. We trust that each and every one of you will be highly motivated, or will highly motivate your students to be the very best version of themselves. Be compassionate, be caring, be exciting, be fun, be the best version of yourself every single day. As students deserve nothing less. Enjoy your kickoff ceremony. Best of luck in a fabulous 2019-2020 school year, and make it the best yet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nieto. Our next guest speaker has stressed the importance of literacy so much so that if you were to ask an elementary student how long they should read a day, they would tell you 20 minutes. And if you would ask them how many words will your brain be exposed to if you do read for 20 minutes a day, they will tell you 1.8 million. First, we were lit for literacy. Then we were read, dream achievers. Now we read, we lead. The focus on literature is one of the reasons why scores across the district have risen every year under her direction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our WISD Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Wesco ISD. This is a place to be, and if it is for you and your children, please join me in saying, Wesco ISD, the place to be. Ready? Wesco ISD, the place to be. Woo! Our district embraces the complete educational program. For us, it is about academics. It's also about the arts. It's about athletics and character. It's about everything needed for our students to be successful now and throughout the course of their lives. And that is the purpose of every single one of us. We live so that children have a brighter future for many, many years to come. Our district vision has always honored children for their full, unique potential. They come to us all different. They're unique. They're special. We embrace completeness in everything that we do. Our 5 goals speak to that. Our very, very first one is student success with a literacy focus. And yes, we've all heard it for quite a while now, the importance of literacy. Not only for success in life, but for leadership that gives to the life and the lives of others. Our second one, engaging learning environments. Third is all about partnerships and teamwork and us being together. Our strength is in all of us. Professional growth and leadership development, we learn and we grow every single day. We give our best. Sometimes our best falls short, but we assemble with our teams and we get better. We get up because we give for children. And financial strength. Wesco ISD's secret 3. Ask for everybody to be a champion of 3 things this year in our words and in our actions. Number 1, we read, and we champion the benefits of reading. 2, we plan purposefully so that we have powerful performance results, whether it's on the marching field, whether it's academically on STAR, on AP, whether it's football, volleyball, cross country, whatever we do, BPA, our kids are achieving, we are achieving. And then the last one, that we create environments where every child, even the quiet one who shies away from everybody, even the one who when we talk to turns away or says a word that hurts our feelings, that we create environments where our children are known, valued, and inspired because we make a difference in Wesco ISD. And that goes for each other. Let's get to know each other better across our campuses, across departments. Let's value each other for the roles that we play, whether we're in food services, whether we're driving our buses, whether we're the principal or counselor or a coach or anything. Let's just value each other and let's inspire each other and motivate each other to become better versions of self so that our kids become better and so that they leave us ready to soar. And to our Board of Trustees, from day one, Wesco ISD for me was about teamwork. People working together, giving their best, bringing out the best in each other. Our Board of Trustees for your commitment to our great team and for inspiring teamwork and success, we thank you. And to everybody out there, I've almost been in education 30 years. I have never, ever, and I've worked with multiple districts, never, ever, ever seen the types of raises that we got this year from any board anywhere in Texas. Our Board of Trustees believe in us to get better every day for children. It's their words and their actions say that. Thank you so much for our raises, Boards of Trustees. And now I'm going to go back to the 70s. How many of you remember the 70s? I was a child in the 70s. I began school in the 70s. I also became a teenager in the 70s. So this is about little girl me growing up in South Texas. See this book here? It's a special book for me. I went to visit Mom and Dad over the summer. It was just me. Love spending time with my entire family, but there's something special about being with your mom and dad, just you, as the only child, no grandchildren around, just me. Had a great time. My mother was a teacher, first grade teacher, fourth grade teacher. My mother taught thousands of kids how to read. And she was an avid reader. Everywhere you look in my house, there's a book. If you look on top of the lid for the toilet tank, there's books. Books are everywhere. So I forgot my book. And at night, before I sleep, one of the last things I do is read. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20 minutes. I pick up a book and read. So I couldn't find a book in the bedroom that I'm sleeping in. So I said, I'm going to the restroom. There's bookshelves there too. So I go to the restroom and I'm looking through Mom's books and I see this one. And I pull it out and I smile. Because this was my book. This was my book when I was in kindergarten. The end of my kindergarten year. You can see Priscilla Canales, May 1973. This is an I can read book. So I see this book and I remember my little girl self. And I remember the story in the book. And no, that's not my handwriting. I couldn't write cursive. Somebody asked me in kindergarten. I wasn't that advanced, okay? So I read this book and I remember Billy and Mark and Tom. and all the fun they had on an island, and how they were writing secret messages in a bottle to each other, and how they had to study tides and the moon to know when to throw the bottle in the water so that it got to the next island. And in the book, there was a letter in the bottle that when you read the letter, you couldn't read it. You had to put it in front of a mirror. I remember as a little 6-year-old going to the mirror, right, and putting the letter in front of the mirror and reading it. Ah, I can read it. It was coded. And then I remember in the story, the boys wrote other letters, and they substituted numbers for letters, secret codes. I could start writing, and my mom won't know what I'm writing because she won't know that the 1 means A and the 2 means B and blah, 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 right? So I got ideas for that to play and imagine. And then I paused. There was a letter with the numbers. Then I paused when I saw this page. When I was little, I had many dreams. A lot of the dreams came from books. A lot of them came from the stories that my grandparents and my parents told me. A lot of them came from the world news because that's the only thing that I got to see at 6 because there was 3 TV stations back then. Not too much on TV, but I love the world news. So I was reading this, I looked at it, and I go, that's where I got that. You see, when I was little, I'd walk around with my friends, and we would say our names in reverse. So my name was Alex Serp Selanak. I got that idea. I remembered when I picked up the book and I saw that page, I got that idea from this book. The boys in the book would say their names in backwards. So from this book, I wanted to be CIA. I wanted to know all the secrets that nobody else would know but me and maybe the president, right? That's what I wanted to be. So books invite us to dream. They teach us about science, about math, about history. They help us spell better, develop vocabulary. So last year I told you I wanted to be the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. You remember that? Priscilla Landry. That's what I wanted to be when I was little because I spent time with my father every Sunday. That was my time with my dad, watching the Cowboys play. And when the Cowboys would lose, I'd go to school on Monday and the kids would make fun of me because I'd cry and I was mad. I needed somebody to help me feel known and valued on Mondays when the Cowboys lost. But anyway, so I also love the Cowboys because they were always in the newspaper, and we did get the newspaper in Benavides. So I would read about the sports page. I couldn't wait for the sports page to read. The other thing is my dear grandfather, my Huito, when he was in high school in Benavides, he would come play in the baseball team, Mission. And guess who was on the team for Mission, for baseball? Tom Landry. So Huito would tell me stories about Tom Landry. So you see, dreams for children come from books and come from oral stories that we tell, come from things that we're exposed to. So Westaco ISD, let's keep on the message about reading. Let's keep on inspiring, because it is reading for many, many of you, and these are just some snippets, that reading made the difference, inspired you to become teachers and business owners, inspired you to become photographers and teachers, inspired you to become teachers and to become business owners and to become teachers. It's all started with a book and an idea. There we go. So let's continue to read to succeed. The research is sound. You're going to hear from our keynote speaker. He's going to give you the same information, a lot more details because he has the actual research. But this is what we know. When children read for 1 minute a day, they see, does that say 8,000? 8,000 words a year. And look where they perform, the bottom 10th percentile. When children, as opposed to children who read minimally for 20 minutes a day, their brain sees 1.8 million words and they score at the 90th percentile. Reading is a gift that keeps on giving. So my first ask, please be an advocate for this. Tell your own children, tell your nieces, tell your nephews, tell your neighbors, tell your sisters and brothers about the importance of reading at home, minimally for 20 minutes. It's going to take care of a lot of things for our children now, and it's going to create opportunities for the future. My second point is I want you to take a look at this year, 2090. Kindergarten students starting today. If you believe what I'm reading, if I believe what I'm reading, they're likely going to work until they're 75. Now, many people today work until they're 75. Let's do the math. 2020, I'm 5. If I'm going to work till 75, the year is 2090. I don't know about you, but I'm gone. I'm 123, 124 years old, right? But it's the dash from our birth until our death that is the biggest, most important thing. And that is what we do when we are alive. And we chose, all of us chose to be part of Weslaco ISD. We chose to be an educator. No matter what role you play, you're an educator. And that was about giving the gift of education to children so that in the future, in a future without us, they can give back to self, to families, and to others across the globe. That's what our profession's about. It is the best profession in the world. It prepares the future for long after our future no longer exists. 40, that's another number I put there. Why? I was startled by this. We were in training, and the presenter says, look at this research that's coming out. Children starting school today will likely have 40 jobs during the course of their lifetime. 40 jobs. And many of them haven't even been invented yet. They don't exist yet. So our job is both personal, because it's our hearts, to develop the potential of kids, and it's also a professional responsibility so that the world continues long after we are no longer here. So for this one, I'm going to talk about purposeful planning. We've got to be purposeful planning everything that we do, no matter what department we're in. Coaches, band directors, teachers, transportation, everybody planning for success. Getting with a group of people and planning, and then executing that plan so that our children succeed. I love this quote, "For tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today." That's an African proverb. So purposeful planning is something, and teachers, counselors, administrators, you're going to see more of this. You've seen it before. It's just a new graphic, and we'll be talking about this throughout the year, because it is with this type of planning that Weslaco ISD is going to earn its A. We're almost there. Look at this, distinctions over the year. We've gone from 16 in 2016 to 54 in 2019. You have helped to accomplish this. Our goal for 2020 is 90. When I looked at the data and I talked to Mrs. Peterson and Mr. Aguilar and the principals and looked at the data, it's there. It's just about honing a couple of things. That's all it is. And we'll hit the 90. Our district, not one campus in Weslaco ISD is a C. You are all A's and B's. And our district is an 88 up from 86. But look at that 91. Weslaco ISD had a 91 in Domain 2, Part B. All we needed was a little bit more student growth. All we needed was a little bit more on Domain 3, closing the gap, and Weslaco ISD right now would have been an A. We were that close, knocking on A's door. We weren't there last year. This is what your work has resulted in, and we salute you for that. And now let's talk about some accountability highlights. First of all, we have 4 A's. Larry Kleckler held Memorial, Sam Houston Elementary School, and South Palm Gardens. South Palm Gardens, as an alternative education center, is very hard to get an A. They got not only an A, they got an A+. They're at a 96, probably one of the highest in the state. We had 4 campuses earning all eligible distinctions. If it's 6 for 6, they got 6 for 6. If it's 7 for 7, they got 7 for 7. But in the house right now this afternoon, 6 for 6, we have Northbridge Elementary and Ivada Elementary School. We also had Kleckler and we had Memorial. Back to back, last year we had Central, 7 of 7. This year, back to back, 2 years in a row, Memorial Elementary School. So now, let's hear from our principals from Ivada and Northbridge about what their secret 3 is. So who's gonna come first? Ladies first, okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yay, Ibarra! Our top 3 for success, first of all, is teamwork, making sure that everybody works hard. And on our campus, from the administrators to the teachers, to the aides, to the custodians, nurses, every single person makes an impact, and every single one worked extremely hard. The next thing, purposeful instruction. We made sure we understood the accountability system, that we understood the 90-60-30, and we made our plan and worked towards that every single day. Made sure the kids knew where they were at as well for our color bands, and then we focused on what we had to do to help them out. Determination and grit is our last one. Never give up, have the endurance, and go all the way. Thank you.
And Ibarra Elementary, you were at an 89.3. You're almost at an A.
Good afternoon, WISD. Oh, come on, we got to do a little better than that in the afternoon. Part of success is making sure you're developing relationships. So a big part of Northbridge Elementary, and which should be across our entire district, is developing positive relationships with our students and with each other. Going hand in hand together, the next 2 big parts of success are planning and knowing our accountability. Letting our planning drive be driven through the data that we go through, and making sure we take the time to study our data. We mentioned the great successes that we've had across this entire district. None of it comes true without every single person now that impacts our students, all the way from the pre-K 3 through graduating seniors. Have a great year, WISD, and thank you.
I'm going to add something. I had a parent ask. The parent said, Dr. Canales, at one of the coffee conversation meetings, why is it important that our district, that our school district, or this campus gets an A? You know, and I thought about that. We know what the statistics from the Texas Education Agency say, and this is it. When students perform at meets, right, at a meets level, they have a 65% chance of being successful their first year of college with no remediation classes. When children score at masters, they have a 75% chance of being successful at college with no remediation classes. So that's really, really important, because for us, we deliver the complete educational process. Our children are not only going to be strong and be able to execute that knowledge to navigate life when it comes to academics, they're going to be athletes, and they're going to know about music, choir, all fine arts, and they're going to develop character, because we're developing children for life, not just for a test score. So it's really, really important for us in Wesco ISD. A couple more highlights. That was a secret 3 from the principals. Thank you again. The last thing I'm going to talk about is relationships. There's a lot of research that talks about when we know, value, and inspire our children in our complete educational program, we help our children to achieve. Rita Pearson is one of my favorites. She's on TED Talk. She passed away in 2013. Staunch advocate for children. She said every child needs a champion. Children need champion, people who believe in them. Hattie's work shares with us that relationships matter. Relationships lead to results. As a matter of fact, when we develop relationships with children, they achieve above average effects on exams. They're successful. Reading, planning, knowing, valued, and inspiring children. The secret 3. That's what Wesco ISD is about. Our teachers of the year who are with us this afternoon, Ms. Galvan said about teaching, be authentic, be true, and above all, teach from the heart. It's personal for us. Mr. Colunga also said, and this was written in the little brochures they had at the service center at Region 1 when they were going to pick the regional teacher of the year. This is what was written about him. Mr. Colunga says, 1 hello, 1 kind word, 1 compliment, on their performance can have the ability to change a student's mindset. A teacher is truly a powerful force in the world, and indeed, we are. So I ask you, there we go. Yeah, aren't they cute? There's Zoe, Mr. Nieto, Board President Nieto, Zoe, Mrs. Peterson's Fiona. There they are. So we ask you throughout the year, know value and inspire our students, know value and inspire each other. The work's going to be hard, but we're going to do it. Continue to encourage all children and all families to make sure that their children at home are also reading to succeed. And continue to work in the great Wesco ISD spirit as a team, discussing how we can all get better for children, plan and perform. And in closing, I'm going to invite you to take out your cell phones, and I want you to find the picture of your favorite Zoe or favorite Fiona. Maybe it's a couple of them. Find the picture of your children or your grandchildren. Go ahead and find it and look at that picture. Where's that? Okay, did you find it? Show it. Let's go ahead and show them. Together, we're going to be the best that we can be for all the Zoes, all the Fionas, all our children. Go Wesco ISD. I love you. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Canales. One of the reasons for this convocation is to kick off the new school year. But we also want to look at some of the best from last year. Here is a look at the 2018-2019 school year.
2018-2019 was a special year where we had students read, dream, and achieve at the highest level. And all of that translated into magical moments with numerous special accomplishments. Wesco High's Parker Galvan went head-on against the world after he qualified for an international conference facing students from all over the globe. His passion in agriculture and burning desire to making a difference paid off after the DECA student qualified as an entrepreneur.
As a freshman, I made it to state for FFA, for a public speaking event. That used to be the biggest accomplishment of my life. Now it's this DECA, making it to international on a business I just started.
Numerous clubs, including Wesco E's UIL accounting team, has represented Wesco ISD in the biggest stage, developing some outstanding students. The club has received numerous awards over the years and found itself back at the UIL state competition where it earned 3rd place.
It's really worth it because me, for being in accounting for 4 years, I've learned a lot. And while I'm going to go to college majoring in accounting, so I know this is going to really be a good help.
Wesco High's Criminal Justice Club had an outstanding year, bringing home some hardware in various competitions, including in 2 events at the state meet. For the 40-plus years of existence, never before has the Mariachi Pantera qualified for state. But the club of 2019 became part of school history after qualifying for the UIL State Mariachi Festival for the first time ever. One of Wesco High's well-rounded students was recognized as commended distinction from the 2018 National Merit Scholarship Program. Brianna Miranda was one of 34,000 students selected out of millions from across the country to receive this prestigious award.
The person I compete most with is myself. I know when I can do better, so I always want to strive for that. And if I've done my best, then I've done my best.
Brianna was just as active outside the classroom, especially as a member of FCCLA. Her and the rest of FCCLA members were part of Keep Texas Beautiful Government Award. One of the best stories comes from Carolina de Anda, a Wesco High student who overcame personal obstacles growing up from the US to Mexico and back here to finish school and graduate early. She earned an associate's degree and was a first-place winner of the 2019 National Association for Bilingual Education bilingual study essay contest.
Being bilingual is like having two souls.
There's a lot of opportunities here, and I have experience over there. I used to go to school over there, and there's nothing compared to here, and people should really take advantage of everything that they have here.
A special accomplishment for the CTE Welding Department, where 31 students received their AWS certifications with a 100% rating. With the certification, the scholars are now eligible to find a job in the field. Last fall, our school district had the honor of hosting the 76th annual UIL Pigskin Jubilee, where bands from all over the valley came to our community for one of the most anticipated events in the entire school year. One of the reasons our school district is the best is because we think outside the box. At Wesco East, we had a teacher who did away with the traditional classroom setting and elected for sofas, bar tables, and used her interior decorating skills to help create a positive and friendly place to learn. This is called flexible seating.
I started researching in ways that the kids can be more engaged, that they can continuously be changing the way that they're learning and that they're taking information in. And having flexible seating, it's conducive to that.
Yeah, it's dim and it's nice, relaxing, where I can do my work in peace. Something different, more comfortable to be in.
On the other side of campus, a section of the school library became a thing of beauty with the development of a hair and makeup salon for students needing to polish their looks before their time of learning.
It's actually really, really great because I take the bus in the morning, so I don't have time to do my hair. So I kind of feel embarrassed or whatever to come back to school. So now I know I can come immediately here and do it real quick.
All right, 75th District Court is now in session.
Students at Wesco High School got an experience
You may be seated.
only a few can say at their young age. The Sepúlveda complex turned into a courtroom where Wesco High alumni and Hidalgo County Judge Marla Cuellar prosecuted 5 cases. And what the scholars saw was real defendants going through real cases, with some even facing jail time, all to teach our students a lesson.
I encourage you guys, don't do drugs. There's a consequence. You get caught, I got caught, you get caught, you will go to jail.
Sometimes students think, oh, it's okay, they're just telling us this, but no, it's serious stuff that happens. And after the inmate, talked to us, everyone kind of felt that. Everyone kind of felt what he said and really took it seriously because the consequences are definitely real.
The Wesco ISD family can not only perform academically, we can also have a little fun. Staff and students at Cuellar Middle School made the choice to take happiness to another level with a Happy Friday dance, which started from something small into a big party at the gym. On social media, the broadcast had over 46,000 hits. At Memorial Elementary, the invention of the Pizza Patrol was a major hit, which rewarded students who had perfect attendance each 6 weeks.
Good afternoon! Pizza Patrol! Memorial Pizza Patrol! Woo!
Mom and I were both working parents. We work endless hours to try to provide for our children the best that we can. And for her to achieve this, to be at school every day, try to be the best that she can be, it's quite a feeling.
Pre-K students at Airport Elementary received a priceless educational experience owning and maintaining a garden. This gave the scholars an opportunity to explore the outdoors in a healthy and fun environment.
We water the plant, we measure the plant, we count the tomatoes and peppers. That one over there, it's a banana pepper, but it's spicy. I haven't tried those before. I want to eat it so I can what it tastes like.
All the way down, nice and slow.
At Gonzales Elementary, nap time was replaced with yoga and Zumba. The school made this change to teach pre-K students about focus and physical activity.
Moving into yoga has helped our children a lot. They've learned their body parts, they've learned how to make sounds, animal sounds. They're also, right now we're working on rockets and they get to pretend to be spaceships. So it's a lot of different types of movement for the students where they're learning a lot of different vocabulary words and they're just loving it.
Some Weslaco ISD students lacked internet service at home, which became a conflict for research and homework. A solution was found after Weslaco East High School and CTE early college students were approved for a Sprint $1 million grant to provide free Wi-Fi. As a way to enhance physical activity, the district looked into new PE equipment for elementary schools. Weslaco ISD felt it was a need and jumped at the opportunity. And in the end, the scholars embraced the gear and PE became a little more entertaining.
Make some noise, pre-K!
For Memorial Elementary, one day out of the school year is strictly dedicated on physical activity and fitness. This grand event is known as the Wellness Walk, which reached a milestone, making the 1 mile trek to Gibson Park for the 25th time. Ibarra Elementary is a Purple Heart school, and the campus held a Purple Heart event in honor of those who served in the military and those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Like, it makes me feel good because, like, we're celebrating these people that, like, risked their lives, and it was for a good purpose. Like, they needed to help this country, and they wanted to help their friends.
The school district and the city of Weslaco help each other through intense parking lot projects across WISD, where drop-offs and pickups take place.
This project right here is very important because of the community, because of the parents, because of the drop-off and the parking area, and the traffic and the congestion that develops here.
Weslaco ISD also did its part to support some senior graduates with a WISD golf scholarship event. The foundation raised $143,000 to help some graduates as they begin college. A long school year comes with trials. Mother Nature tested our community again with heavy rainfall one evening, but this time, Weslaco ISD was ready. Prior to the storm, all school buses and fleet vehicles were moved from Transportation Department to higher grounds at nearby schools.
Yes, it did work out for the best, and we're very fortunate because if we would have left the fleet here, we would have been in a similar situation as we were. We'd have lost our fleet again.
Here are some more accolades we like to recognize. And congratulations to our students moving on to college, military, or a career in a technical skill. The class of 2019 earned more than 7,700 college hours while receiving 89 associate's degrees and being awarded more than $3 million in college scholarships. Thank you for making Wesco ISD the right choice.
Up next, we would like to introduce our guest speaker. He has been called Jim Carrey with the PhD. He's been an author, trainer, TV host, comedian, and he has a passion for reading. In fact, when he found out that Theodore Roosevelt read 20,000 books by age 30, he resolved to read 5 to 10 books a day. Given many were a few pop-up books, scratch and sniff, but he does read quite a few diverse titles. All kidding aside, he considers himself a teacher. He has taught at California State University since 1996, and his dream is for students to read not because they want to do well in school, but because they want to do well in life. Please help me welcome Danny Brissell. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Awesome. Welcome to, we're going to call this the Reading Breakthrough. The person that put all this together is Sergio Garcia. Can everybody give a huge round of applause to Sergio for all of his work? Also, can we all thank Dr. Canales and the board for being here and all the work that they're doing? He's great. I get to go all around the world to different school districts, and let's just say that this is an extraordinary district. Not every district does something like this, so this is fantastic. Most importantly, I don't think teachers receive their due, so thank you for your service. Give yourselves a big hand. Really appreciate all that you do. So I always like to get to know everybody in the room, so everybody turn to an attractive person beside you right now. And if you see a person look at you and look away, you ain't looking so hot this afternoon. Why don't you take about 8 seconds to say hi to a couple of people? Go. We are going to play a game. This game requires that you get a partner. I will give you 5 seconds to get a partner. Go. And I will give you 4 seconds to determine who is partner A and who is partner B. Go. Partner A, stand up. Partner A, I would like you to look down at partner B. And for the next 20 seconds, please tell partner B what makes you so awesome. Go. Stop. All right, partner B, I need you to look up at partner A and repeat after me. You're amazing. Now repeat after me. I want to be just like you someday. Partner A, you may sit down. Partner B, stand up. Partner B, I would like you to look down at partner A, and for the next 20 seconds, please tell partner A what makes you so awesome. Go. Stop. All right, partner A, I need you to look up at partner B and repeat after me. What a stud. Now repeat after me. I'm not worthy. Very good. Everybody sit down and give yourselves a big hand. No matter what you do, remember, you are always a teacher and a role model. Speaking of that, I know we don't have just teachers in the audience. There's a group that I don't think is appreciated enough. Can we give a big hand to the transportation department for bringing you all here? Pretty amazing department. So now you're wondering, who is this guy? Well, my name is Danny Brissell. My last name's really easy to remember how to spell. It's spelled like bras, sell. No, I never took any grief over that as a child. And I'm on a mission to bring joy back into education. There we go, yeah. There's my Baptist. Yeah, man, all right. I've actually taught all age levels, from preschoolers all the way up to rocket scientists. I can make that claim because I used to teach English as a second language to engineering students at the University of Southern California. I became a teacher because of the movie Stand and Deliver. Raise your hand if you ever saw the movie Stand and Deliver. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's the true story of Jaime Escalante going to Garfield High School in East Los Angeles to teach AP Calculus. So I said, I'm gonna be Jaime Escalante. So I was originally hired to teach 12th grade social studies in Compton, California. It's a community in South Central Los Angeles. And they switched me from working with high school students to middle school students to upper elementary to lower elementary to pretty soon, instead of preparing students for college, I was coming home with snot marks all over my pants every single day. The first thing I learned is what works with a 12th grader does not necessarily work with a kindergartner. But what works with a kindergartner works with all age levels. The second thing I learned was perseverance. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a negative environment, surrounded by negative people telling you what you couldn't do all the time. I mean, one of my old principals, Mrs. Lucifer, she used to fly into my classroom every single day on her broomstick with her perma-scowl and her foreboding clipboard, and she used to write me up for everything she thought that I was doing wrong. She was killing me. But I had a guardian angel. I was blessed. I taught at a school where I was the only man at my school. I was the only white person at my school. I taught with predominantly elderly African-American women from the South who all had been teaching for at least 20 years. Well, my mentor was Mrs. Turner. Mrs. Turner had been teaching for 40 years. Mrs. Turner was from Alabama. She believed in two things: discipline and the Bible. When her little ones got out of line, she started reading aloud Revelations to them. And it was Mrs. Turner, this remarkable woman, who took me under her wing, and she taught me a system on how to bring joy to my students every single day. And so hopefully during our limited time together this afternoon, I'll be able to impart some of her wisdom by teaching everybody the ABCs. Why the ABCs? Well, because of the psychological rule of 7 plus or minus 2. Harvard did a study. By the way, whenever I cite research, I always say Harvard did the study. It sounds much more legitimate that way. So Harvard did a study. They found the typical human being can store 7 pieces of information in their short-term memory, plus or minus 2 pieces of information. So today we're going to learn the ABCs of reading. First of all, we're going to learn about the importance of providing great access to reading materials to our students. We're going to talk about how to take care of business in our classrooms when we're teaching the little ones. And finally, we're going to talk about how to create a culture that gets kids excited about reading every single day. Are you excited for today? Awesome. Get pumped for reading. By the way, if you can do me a favor, take out your cell phones and turn them on. There you go. Good. I don't think we're doing a good enough job of integrating technology into our classrooms, and I find that most of my kids have these cell phones nowadays. And it was actually a 5-year-old who taught me how to use Instagram and Twitter. And now that I understand how to use them, they're actually great teaching tools. This is going to date me. When I was a kid, it was called the number sign. Nowadays, they call it the hashtag. My hashtag is Danny Speaks. If there's anything I'm saying that's resonating with you during the presentation, anytime you send out an Instagram or a tweet with that hashtag, it's basically creating a full page of notes so that people can look at what the highlights are of the presentation. Also, Sergio arranged so that all of you that want it get a complimentary copy of my book, Read, Lead, and Succeed, plus 2 parent trainings. That's because of Sergio Garcia. Everybody say, thank you, Sergio. All you have to do is, if you have that phone out, just point the camera to the QR code, and it'll take you to the site. You're going to get a copy of my book, Read, Lead, and Succeed. It's actually a book. I wrote it for a principal who didn't know how to engage his faculty. So I said, okay, I'll write you a book. And so once a week, I give you a concept, I give you an inspirational quote, an inspirational story, a book recommendation on a book all of you should read that relates to that concept, but you're probably too lazy because you're adults. So I also give you a children's picture book recommendation that demonstrates the exact same concept. You can read that in 5 minutes. You know, this is to keep you in a positive mindset. People don't know the statistics, folks. We lose over half of our teachers in America in their first 6 years on the job. We lose over half of our educational administrators in their first 2.5. My job is to keep great educators in their school sites. If you're not great, leave. We don't want you. But if you are great, we need to keep you as long as possible. I'm also providing you with 2 parent trainings. That's really my specialty. I provide trainings in English and Spanish to parents to get their kids to love reading. I think schools do a decent job of teaching kids how to read. But the question I always ask teachers is, what good is it teaching a kid how to read if they never want to read? I teach kids why to read so that they'll be readers for life, and that's why we're talking about reading and leading today. So are you ready? All right, hang on. So why don't we start off with how to provide access to great materials for our students. Does your classroom look like this, or does it look like this? I see too many schools that are starting to look more and more like penitentiaries. We've got to bring back the joy, bring back the color in our classrooms. We want to get those kids excited about reading every single day. And great classroom libraries have to appeal to all the senses. You need to know something about me. I am a highly competitive individual. When I became a teacher, I didn't want to be a good teacher. I wanted the school renamed after me. I wanted my superintendent erecting statues throughout the district in my honor. I wanted every other kid from my school at my classroom windows going, "Oh, I want to be in there." You got to make your classroom library cooler than Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It has to appeal to the touch. I mean, I started off as a secondary teacher. Once I started teaching little ones, I learned it was a good idea to walk around the room on my knees from time to time to make sure everything was accessible to my little ones. It's got to be visually appealing. I want my classroom library so visually stimulating, my ADHD kids are sitting there all day going, "I want to read, library, library." Brew some coffee or spray some Lysol in your classroom so it doesn't smell like vomit and urine in there. Let the kids eat and drink while they read. I like to eat and drink while I read. You see what we're doing? We're creating a sensory experience where kids always associate reading with relaxation. And always let the kids listen to music while they read. And always let the kids pick the music. And I don't care if you're teaching 12th grade, 7th grade, 4th grade, or 1st grade, the first 3 weeks the kids always pick out stuff with lyrics. You know, hip hop, American Idol, country western. After 3 weeks, they figure out they can concentrate better to instrumental pieces. Classical, jazz, blues, nature music, that kind of stuff. Got to get that classroom library awesome. So here's a riddle for you. What was your favorite textbook as a child? If you're seriously trying to answer this question, there's something very wrong with you. It drives me nuts, the emphasis on textbooks in this country. For the price of a brand new textbook, I could buy 15 scholastic books that would actually get a kid excited about reading. I mean, one of my old principals, Dr. Lecter, he used to ask me if I was using my textbook, and I can honestly say yes, because they make great doorstops. But they're not a good way to get kids excited about reading. I mean, I can't tell you how many 7th grade boys I've worked with. There's no way I'm getting this boy to read this textbook. But if I give him a manual on how to fix a Chevy, he'll memorize it from cover to cover because he's interested in it. You got to know this. It's only reading when we choose to do it for ourselves. The happiest day of my life. There we go. There's my lone Baptist. Woo-hoo! Yeah. Or she's drunk, one of the two. Happiest day of my life, besides my wedding day, was when I got my PhD. My wife asked, "Why are you so happy?" I'm like, "Because from now on, I pick the books." And it's only reading when you pick the books. Can I give you a teaching tip? Yes. The little boy who only reads Captain Underpants is going to be a better reader than the little boy who's not reading anything. There you go. Captain Underpants is the gateway drug to Shakespeare. You have to have lots of different reading materials in your classroom. I mean, make sure you got tons of books. I got big books, and I got little books, and I got pop-up books and scratch and sniff books. But guess what? Some kids don't like books. So make sure you have tons of magazines, Sports Illustrated, National Geographic, highlights. When I was a kid, the only thing I liked to do was eat. You got a kid like that, give them a menu. They'll read that. Newspapers. I was a journalist before I was a teacher. I mean, I always taught in the hood. Show me a McDonald's in the inner city that doesn't have at least 5 free newspaper stands out front. I used to teach my kids how to snag those newspapers, and now I actually have a way of influencing the home reading environment as well. Comic books. When I do corporate trainings, I always ask the executives in suits, what was your favorite book growing up? 70% of the audience, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. Comic books count. Trading cards. I can't tell you how many little boys, the way I got them hooked on reading was starting off with Lionel Messi's soccer card. I mean, trading cards are a great way. Leapfrog. Makes me feel like an old guy. I wish the books talked when I was a kid. I think Leapfrog's awesome. Get multilingual books in your classroom. Even if you don't have multilingual students, kids like to hear different languages. I used to work at a preschool in downtown Los Angeles for 5 years called Para Los Niños, serves homeless Latino kids. And one day we got this huge donation of books in Italian. None of us spoke Italian, but I can decode Italian, so every afternoon I used to read to the kids. Some of the kids, it was their favorite time of day, you know? Get reference books in your classroom. Every grade level I've ever taught, I have at least one boy in my class that's an aspiring Cliff Clavin. Likes to give me useless information every day. Miss Versal, the capital of Vermont is Montpelier. Great, Rogelio. Can you give me some more useless information tomorrow? Okay. Give that kid an almanac. There's a great episode of Friends where Joey wants to look intelligent, but he can't afford an entire set of encyclopedias, so he just buys the letter V. Give the kid an encyclopedia. You know, so the first part of access is you got to make sure to give your students plenty of choices of what they read. Carol Ann Tomlinson said, if a student has a spark, or better still a fire, a curiosity about a topic, learning is more likely for that student. Too many kids look at school like it's prison. What's going on in America, folks? My kindergartners used to go to bed with their backpacks on. My 8th graders were thinking of ways to get sick. What happened in those 8 years to get that kid to hate school so much? I mean, if I'm doing my job, my kid should be banging on my classroom door at 6 in the morning, and they should be in tears when they hear that final bell ring, because they never want to leave. You know, it was Carl Jung who said, if there's anything we wish to change in the child, we should first examine it and see whether it's not something that could be better changed in ourselves. Our job as educators is to open up those minds and plant seeds that foster a lifelong love and interest and curiosity in learning and reading. So, Harvard actually did a study on this. An informal survey of elementary age students found they are most interested in, multiple choice, would you say A, conjugating verbs, B, balancing a complex chemical equation, C, the Pythagorean theorem, or D, dinosaurs and volcanoes? What do you think? May I give you my answer? It depends. A good teacher could make any of those lessons interesting. And a bad teacher could make dinosaurs and volcanoes boring. My 9th grade science teacher, Mrs. Newman, she could make dinosaurs and volcanoes boring because the woman never changed the tone of her voice. Hello, class, and welcome to the exciting world of life science. The school is burning down as I speak. I have a large laceration above my left eyebrow. I'm slowly bleeding to death. Your presentation matters. I've seen teachers take a totally cool book, time to read aloud again, Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. That sounds more depressing than a James Taylor song. And I've seen teachers take the telephone book, Domino's Pizza 555-8787. Your enthusiasm is contagious. Now, this is going to date me. When I first started teaching elementary school, the original animated version of The Lion King had just come out. And so every morning, my students and I formed what we called our Circle of Life, and we sang songs every single morning. It's one of my favorite ways to get kids looking at words and reading all the time. People always ask me, Danny, why do you sing so much with students? Well, it's a Harvard medical fact. The human brain has the ability to erase information. For example, who was the 18th president of the United States? How many bones are in the human body? How many members of Congress are there? Too many? I will accept that answer. For those of you that need to know, Ulysses S. Grant was the 18th president of the United States. There's 206 bones in the human body. There's 535 voting members of Congress, 435 in the House, 100 in the Senate. Don't worry about that. Let's see if you can complete any of these. In 1492, to all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Da 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 da. 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 Conjunction, junction. Yeah, someday you'll have Alzheimer's disease. You won't remember the names of your own children, but you'll remember jingles you learned when you were 5 years old. I mean, it's all they had to do to teach kids the alphabet. Just put it to the beat of Twinkle, twinkle, little star, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Would you like some more? Yeah. Everybody stand up. We're going to learn the continents right now. So I'll sing the line and then you repeat after me. Make sure you do the gestures. The brain loves movement. So I'll start. There are seven. There are seven. There are seven. There are seven. Continents. 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 Europe, Asia, Africa. North and South America. North and South America. Antarctica. Australia. Now, if you teach first grade, you better set some ground rules. Else you get little boys that decide they're Mighty Morphin Power Rangers going, Europe, Asia, Africa. We're pointing to where they are on our map of the world. By the way, I think it's fabulous you brought a tambourine today. That's fantastic. People always make fun of me for carrying 50 feet of rope all the time, but you never know. This next one I got in trouble for because I wrote it to the beat of a Bible camp song, so I will model it and then we'll all do it together. This is to teach the kids the seasons of the year. It goes spring, summer, autumn, and winter, winter, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, winter, spring and summer, autumn and winter are the seasons of the year. We can do it in Spanish too. It goes primavera, verano, otoño y invierno. Which would you prefer? Now, I want you to think about that the next time you have that poor English language learner in your classroom. It's not easy thinking in another language all day. You get headaches, you have nightmares. Let's have a little bit of empathy for that student. And every now and then, here in South Texas, you might come across a kid that English isn't their first language. That ever happened to any of you? Let's have a little bit of empathy. All right, so we'll do it slowly together. 1, 2, ready, go. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter, winter, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, winter, spring and summer. Autumn and winter are the seasons of the year. One more the kids and I wrote to teach ourselves the parts of a plant. Everybody repeat after me and do the gestures. Flower, leaf, stem. Roots, there it is. Very good, everybody give yourselves a hand. You may sit down. People often ask me, Danny, did you ever sing with your middle school and high school students? Can I give you a teaching tip? I actually sang more often with my middle school and high school students. Why? Because it annoyed them. Man, this is stupid, man. I hate this song, man. You wore that jacket yesterday, man. Middle schoolers always get personal. Then the one day we don't sing, they're like, when we singing, man? It's all hormones. So the second part of Access is making sure you provide materials that are actually of interest to the students. And that leads to the third, very critical part of Access. You got to give the kids opportunities to read in class. Give the kids time to read in class. This is my Sally Struthers speech. 10 minutes a day. The time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. You can significantly improve the reading abilities of your students if you gave them some time to read in class. Why do I emphasize this? In all my years of teaching, I've learned one thing. No matter what I do, I cannot control my students' home environments. But I can control my classroom environment. There's not a single pre-K to grade 12 teacher in America that can't make reading a priority for 10 minutes every single day. The other thing you have to remember is those minutes matter. Harvard did a study. They were looking at the lower performing students, the middle performing, and the higher performing, looking for trends, and they found one that startled them. Number of minutes spent reading outside of school. They found that the kids that tested in the 20th percentile averaged less than 1 minute a day of reading outside of school. That's not too surprising. That's why the kids are at the bottom of the class. This next number was surprising. The kids in the middle of the class at the 70th percentile, they average 9.6 minutes a day. And now is the time during a parent training where the first parent's hand raises and says, Danny, are you saying that if I can get my kid to read 10 minutes a day at home, I can take him from an F to a C? That's exactly what the research shows us. Right, but there's an even more startling figure. The kids at the top of the class, the 90th percentile. Do they average 3 hours a day outside of school? Everybody say no. Do they average 1 hour a day reading outside of school? No, the average was 21.1 minutes, just a little bit over 20 minutes. My entire life is devoted to training people how to find those 20 minutes every single day. There's all kinds of things you can do. I mean, the average American spends 15 minutes a day on the toilet. Put some reading materials next to the toilet. You just covered 15 minutes. If it takes you 10 minutes both ways to drive your kid to school, put on a book on tape. You just covered the 20 minutes that way. You know, the single most read item in America every morning is not the New York Times or USA Today. It's the back of the cereal box. Have some reading materials for the kids at breakfast. I give parents all kinds of ideas on how to get their kids excited about reading. Again, that's what all of you are going to be getting for free when you do the freereadingtraining.com on the QR code, and I'll show that one more time so you have a chance to do that. Now, I've always thought that the most successful educators are the most reflective educators. And so I'm going to give you 23 seconds to do a tweet or tell with the people around you. Figure out which of these 3 forms of access you're going to make a priority in your classroom this year. Your 23 seconds begins now. So now let's talk about how to take care of the business of reading in our classrooms. Here's a scary statistic for you. If students don't learn to read by 3rd grade, there's less than a 25% chance of them catching up. I'm a big believer in an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We need to make sure to get those kids when they're young, because catch-up is a whole lot tougher than putting in the time right now. You have to understand that learning to read is like learning to ride a bike. It becomes easier with experience, and we know experience leads to confidence. Well, that sounds simple enough. Remember this. People who say that's easy should be severely beaten. Anything is easy once you know how to do it. It's the getting to know how to do it that's the trick. So people always ask me, Danny, why don't people read? Well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, there's a condition known as illiteracy, which means they can't read, but there's an even more prevalent condition called illiteracy, which means they won't read. Both are paralyzing, but I'm going to argue to you today, I don't really believe there is such a thing as illiteracy. There's just different degrees of literacy. I mean, yes, there are some illiterate people out there. Most of these people usually wind up getting jobs, working for road crews. You'll find a lot of these road crews working out in front of our public schools, and they make it very difficult for the rest of us to try and figure out the messages that they're trying to communicate to the general public. Now, if you can't get a job working for a road crew, you can always get a job working for the federal government, creating a program like this one. Illiterate, just write for free help. I believe this program is administered by FEMA. Most people have varying degrees of literacy. For example, what does this mean? Good. A lot of people in Los Angeles, where I live, fail to recognize that. How about this one? Good parking spot. Yeah. My own 3 children, we have over 300 DVDs in my house. Before my kids could walk or talk, they could find Finding Nemo. Didn't matter where I put it, they could always locate Finding Nemo. Children, from the time they are in the womb, can identify this symbol. Stop the car! Would you like to know the secret to a long life? Turn off the TV news and read a funny children's book tonight. I can already tell you what's on the news tonight. The world is coming to an end, and whoever the president is doing a bad job. It's been the same negative news for the last 100 years. You know, read a funny children's book. You'll impress your friends. Yeah, I read a book cover to cover last night. Really? What was it about? It's about this little red hen. Reading should always be fun. Let kids read where they want, when they want, with whomever they want. I said that just now. You may quote me. So the first part of taking care of business is to always make reading fun. So we're going to play a game. You ready to play a game? Okay, we're going to do a word ladder. Now the way a word ladder works is we're going to come up with a word and we're going to slowly transform that word, changing a couple letters at a time, and the last word we come up with is going to relate to the original word somehow. So what's the opposite of over? Excellent. Okay, now add 2 letters. What's something you hear after you see lightning? Excellent. Now drop 3 letters. What's the sound a sack of potatoes makes when it hits the floor? Good. Now change a letter. What's another name for a school bully? Okay. Drop a letter. What's something you like to do with your significant other? Thank you for saying hug and not tug. Let's change a letter. What's something you don't want to find in your motel room? Excellent. Change a letter. What's something you put your groceries in? Change a letter. What's something they've been doing to smokers in public restaurants lately? Okay, add a letter. What's another name for a group of musicians? Change a letter. What's a box they used to let kids play in on the playground until they got impetigo? Okay? And then add a letter. What's another way to say rise? Good, and really that's what reading is all about. It's not reading unless you understand what you're reading. Oh! Would you like to know the secret to teaching reading? Comes to us from a professor at Harvard by the name of Howard Gardner. Attractive man. He's available, ladies. Here, he's quite the party guy. Well, back in the mid-1980s, Howie wrote a book where he described 7 multiple intelligences, and then about 10 years later, he wrote another book where he described 2 new intelligences, so we could charge another $20 for that book. While Gardner's multiple intelligence theory is important, he actually stole most of his ideas from a more important educational philosopher of the late 1970s by the name of Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman said, "Teachers, all you got to remember is this: different strokes for different folks." Everybody say that. Every kid is different. This is what makes our job so challenging. This year's batch, totally different than last year's batch. Second period, polar opposite from 5th period. They say anyone can teach. I completely agree. Anyone can teach. Takes a lot of hard work to be a good teacher, though. I hate that saying. The one that really drives me nuts is when they say, "Oh, if you touch just one child, you have succeeded as a teacher." I used to tell my faculty, if you touch just one kid, please find another job. Let's shoot for the moon and get at least half the kids achieving in this country. It's amazing how low we set the expectations for our students. I've learned one size does not fit all. Every class I've ever taught has a Yesenia and a Jose. Let's say you're teaching 3rd grade this year. You are not teaching 3rd grade. You're teaching anywhere from 7th grade to caveman. Every class I've ever taught, Yesenia shows up a half an hour early to class every single day. "Hello, Mr. Purcell. I rearranged the desk and I thought of a way you could integrate social studies with science, and I just did my math homework for the next 5 years. And then there's Jose. Jose shows up 10 minutes late every single day, holding his pencil like he just discovered fire. Pencil! Pencil! And in my experience, Yesenia usually gets transferred out of my class within 3 weeks, and Jose never misses a day of school. Which is fine. I became a teacher for Jose, not Yesenia. She's going to do fine with or without me. I can actually have a real impact on Jose, and actually Yesenia needs me too, just in a very different way. I mean, I think one of the silliest things we strive for in American education is equality. Kids don't need to be treated equally. They need to be treated fairly. You know, some kids don't require much attention. Some kids require a lot of extra attention. It's almost as ridiculous as the reading wars. I mean, I've been in higher education for over 20 years. They're still debating on how do you teach a kid how to read. And you got people over here believe the way you teach a kid how to read is alligator, ball, cat. Because that's the way we all speak, right? Then you got the people over here. What's your name? Amy. Amy, I want you to take this book home, Amy. Put it under your pillow. And when you wake up, love, you'll know how to read. And I'm being facetious because we know if you want to learn how to read, knowing the sounds of some of the blends can be somewhat helpful, can it not? It certainly can. And having opportunities to read for fun can be somewhat helpful, can it not? It certainly can. But we know we need a balanced approach. But this is what I learned as a teacher. If I got a kid that loves sitting there doing phonics worksheets, what should I do? Give them phonics worksheets. If I got a kid that loves sitting in the corner reading on her own, what should I do? Let her. School was built for them, not for me. I mean, I'm not a hooked on phonics guy because I stuttered as a child. They were trying to get me hooked off phonics. I'm like, ball. They're like, no, it's just ball. But I confess I've taught some kids how to read using a phonics-based approach. It's not my preferred approach. Can I give you a teaching tip? Yes. English is not a phonics-based language, folks. Spanish is. I can teach all of you how to read in Spanish in 6 weeks or less. Ma, me, mi, mo, mu. Nice and consistent. Look at the symbol A. What sound does it make in Spanish? Ah! Always ah! English. Ah! Ah! A! Ugh! Sounds like I'm about to vomit. That symbol makes 18 different sounds in English. Not the most useful strategy. I like strategies that actually work. See, I got a teaching philosophy. You keep them moving, you keep them playing. That keeps them happy. When you're happy, that is when you're learning because you don't even realize that you are learning. So the second part of taking care of business is making sure to accommodate based on the needs of every single student in your classroom. That leads, of course, to the third part of business, which is to get help. Can I give you the single best way I know to make all of your kids better readers? Use poetry. Whether I'm teaching my little ones or my older ones, every class I ever teach, I read aloud at least 4 poems a day to my students. It takes me under 5 minutes. Think about that. Over the course of 180 school days, I've exposed my students to over 700 poems. In my classroom, I mandated all of my students had to memorize at least 20 poems. Heck, when I taught kindergarten, on Thursdays, the kids became poems. It's a good way to differentiate instruction, too. I mean, so I got like Jose, my non-reader. He's like, hi, I'm the Sitter by Shel Silverstein. Mrs. McTwitter, the babysitter, I think she's a little bit crazy. She thinks a babysitter's supposed to sit upon the baby. Then I got Yesenia, one of my top students. She's like, hi, I'm Mark Antony from Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let be with Caesar. He was my friend, loyal and just to me. But Brutus is an honorable man. 6-year-old girl memorized 50 lines from Julius Caesar. Where'd I get that idea? Kindergarten Cop. Any of you ever see the movie Kindergarten Cop? In that movie, Schwarzenegger got his little ones to memorize the Gettysburg Address, and I thought to myself, I wonder if that's possible. I'm convinced that we underestimate kids every single day, all right? So we're going to read some poems right now. Let's start off with a nursery rhyme. Let's read it together. 1, 2, ready, go. Do a tongue twister. 1, 2, ready, go. I used to tell my little ones, you got the rest of your lives to be miserable. This year we're laughing. I like funny poems. So I love Jack Prelutsky, Broad Baggart. My favorite, though, is Shel Silverstein. So let's read aloud, My Beard. 1, 2, ready, go. I always like to expose the kids to at least one classic. I actually never learned Roman numerals as a child. So let's read aloud Emily Dickinson's famous XXVII. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, when you read that poem, this woman had some serious self-esteem issues, wouldn't you agree? This is actually one of the first poems I exposed my students to. A lot of people don't know this. Emily Dickinson died without ever showing anybody any of her poems. They found her poems in the attic. This woman had no idea how much her words would mean to millions of people. I look at every single one of my students every single day. All of you have poetry inside of you. It's your job to share that with the world. So again, I've always thought that the best educators are reflective educators. So I'm going to give you 23 seconds to do a tweet or a tell with the people around you. Which of these forms of taking care of business in your classroom are you going to make a priority this school year? Your 23 seconds begins now. So why don't we wrap up about how to create a culture that gets kids excited about reading every single day. The building blocks of success are the parents. You need the parents' help. Children are just a reflection of their parents. You ever notice on back to school night before you've ever met the parent, you can match the parent with the kid right away? Everybody repeat after me. Parent's friend. By the way, it's 2019. Parent means different things in different homes. Some kids have no mommy, some kids have two mommies, some kids are being raised by a foster mommy or an auntie or an older sibling. Whoever the authority figure is at home, that's a parent. We need to do whatever it takes to get that person on our side. School districts will bring me in for 2 days. On day one, I work with the teachers. On day two, I work with the administrators. But on the night of day one, I work with the parents. Because I think you need all three of those players on the same team. And that is how you move mountains together. Every single parent seminar I have ever conducted, I have pointed this out. 24/7, 365, 8,760. There are 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year equals 8,760 hours in a year. 6, 5, 180, 1,080. There are 6 hours of instructional time in a typical school day, 5 days a week, 180 days a year equals 1,080 hours in a typical school year. Subtract 1,080 from 8,760, and you get 7,680 hours a child is with the parent, not the teacher. Who's the problem? That's not the way I say it to parents, by the way. Here's the way I say it to parents. No matter what I do with your kid, you are 7 times more important than me. Any of you ever see the movie Jerry Maguire? Help me help you. If he doesn't learn how to read, he's spending the rest of his life living with you, not with me. We need to be on the same team. And so that first part of creating culture is realizing it takes an entire village to create readers. You know, I used to always tell my faculty, I'm looking for thermostats, not thermometers. What's the difference? Thermometers take the temperature. Thermostats set the temperature. What kind of environment are you creating in your classroom every day to get those kids pumped up about learning every single day? Raise your hand if you ever had one of those days. Raise your hand if you ever need to get pumped up. Raise your hand if you ever feel overwhelmed. So again, that's why I'm providing you again, if you just go to freereadingtraining.com, you'll get a complimentary copy of the book, plus those 2 trainings, plus for the rest of your life, once a week, I'll send you 1 positive email to keep you in a positive mindset. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if this entire school year was like today, where it's just a celebration, everybody's smiling and happy? Let's try and do that, spread it like a virus every single day. And so the second part of creating a culture is making reading the reward. And that leads to what I think is the best way to make people excited about reading, which is to read aloud. Have any of you ever had a favorite student? 2 of you. All right. Way to relate to your audience, Danny. All right. Well, I had a favorite student. I've spent the majority of my career teaching in the Compton and Watts area of South Central Los Angeles. I did teach in Houston, Texas for a year. I taught 3rd grade, and in that class, I had a little boy named Howard, and still to this day, Howard is my favorite student of all time. Howard was the son of a Baptist minister, and Howard's father spoke like Martin Luther King Jr., which meant Howard spoke like Martin Luther King Jr. And one day I was reading a book to the kids called Stuart Little by this guy named E.B. White. Write his name down. He's going to be big someday. E.B. White. So after I read to the kids every day, I always have the kids applaud the author. So the kids are applauding one day, and Deshaun's like, I like Stuart because he's little. And Howard stands up, he's like, don't you get it? Don't you get it? We all be little. We all be little. But we be big someday. Like Mr. B. And he points at me, and I realize this child could lead a revolt. And Howard is the reason I became a teacher, man. I love his unbridled enthusiasm. It's what gets me out of bed every single morning, and I worried to death for Howard because next year he was going to get Miss Hampton. And Miss Hampton was going to misinterpret his enthusiasm as a discipline problem because Miss Hampton is a direct descendant of Darth Vader. And Howard taught me a very important lesson. Never give a kid an answer. You're not doing them any favors. Give them a strategy. Because sooner or later, folks, all of us are going to have a Miss Hampton to deal with. You know, one of my mentors, Charlie Tremendous Jones, said, you're the same today as you will be in 5 years, except for the people you meet and the books you read. I always tell my students, you need to always pay careful attention. Surround yourself with lots of positive people and make sure you're constantly reading positive things every day. Remember, all of you, no matter what you do, you're always a teacher and a role model. I'm going to end the way I always end my class as my students, whether it's my older ones or my little ones, walking out my classroom door, I always tell them this. Remember, education is valuable, but it's execution that is priceless. Knowledge ain't power. Only applied knowledge is power. And knowing what the right thing to do and doing the right thing are two different things. Translation, let's foster a love of reading in all of our students. Remember, folks, you make a difference each and every day. Enjoy the journey ahead of you. Have a wonderful school year. God bless you, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, how about another big hand for Danny Brazell? Up next, we have some accolades and recognitions, and we would like to recognize the Fine Arts Department and Mr. Ron Bissett, as they were named by the NAM Foundation for the second year in a row. They've been recognized, so let's bring out Mr. Bissett to say a few words.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I do want to recognize all of our music teachers that are in the audience today. If you'd please stand right now so that we can recognize you, all our music teachers, band directors, choir directors, etc. For the second consecutive year, Westlake WISD has been named a NAM Best Community for Music Education. And that means that our school district puts a very high priority on the study of music. Grades pre-K through senior year. And as you can tell, when Mr. Brassell gave his presentation, I didn't know if you noticed, he was conducting you with poetry and with other things, with the McDonald's theme song for Big Macs, etc. It's amazing that we remember things that's put to music a lot better than we remember other things. So music is a very strong proponent in education, and I want to thank all of our music teachers for what they do every day with our students. I also want to thank our school board, Dr. Canales, and our cabinet, and all of our administrators for promoting music in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bissett. And congratulations once again, the Fine Arts Department being recognized by the NAM Foundation. All right, now we'd like to recognize some campuses. For the very first time this year, TEA recognized our campuses with letter grades, and we can go back to the slides. And we would like to recognize those A-rated campuses. Getting an A rating this year, Memorial Elementary. How about a big hand for them? Another A-rated campus, Kleckler-Held Elementary. Also recognized as an A campus, Sam Houston Elementary. Another A-rated campus, South Palm Gardens High School. We would also like to recognize campuses that acquired every distinction, which is very, very difficult to do. Kleckler-Held Elementary. Memorial Elementary. North Bridge Elementary. Dan Buttermer, please come up. How about a big hand for North Bridge Elementary? Come up on stage, be recognized. Mr. Buttermer, good job, North Bridge Elementary. We would also like to recognize another campus that received all distinctions, Mario Ibarra Elementary. Principal Linda Hernandez. Up next, we'd also like to recognize campus with the highest student attendance, and that is Kleckler-Held Elementary. Campus with the highest employee attendance. Faculty and staff that attended the most this year, Ibarra Elementary. Up next, we have an award as selected by a committee that walked the schools during the year, the Clean Campus Award, and that goes to Ibarra Elementary. Nice job, Ibarra Elementary. How about a big hand for Ibarra Elementary doing so well this year with all the awards? Up next, we have a Customer Service Award. Customer Service Award, this was a secret shopper type program, so we had parents go around the WISD and they would walk into schools and talk to the staff up front, ask them a few questions, and see how they were treated. Were they helped with all their questions? Did they find what they needed? And that award goes to Mary Hogue Middle School. How about a big hand, Pablo Vallejo, Principal, Mary Hogue Middle School. Those are traveling trophies, so next year you might get that in your school. All depends, of course. Okay, now let's give away some prizes. So if you're out there in the lobby and you can hear me, y'all need to get back in here because we have plenty of prizes to give away. We put everybody's name in this bin right here, and we're gonna choose some names.
Lots of prizes to give away.
So let's get started.
How about a big hand for our two MCs, Jordan Cancino from West Loco High School, Mario Trevino, senior at West Loco East High School. He was also a part of Boys State and was nominated for governor.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Congratulations
sir.
on that.
Thank you.
Okay, first prize we're going to give away is a MasterCard, a $50 gift card from MasterCard, and a wreath by Martha's Creations. We're going to give them both together, guys. So the winner is?
The winner is Melissa Valderrama from North Bridge Elementary.
Okay. Up next is a $25 gift card from Barbecuties.
And that goes to Manuel Arellano from Margot Elementary.
All right, who wants a TV? A TV is next. 32-inch TV donated by Tamez Financial Group. Television.
This right here. Ezekiel Rodriguez from K Early College High School.
Up next, we have a $25 Chick-fil-A platter and Kendra Scott jewelry,
which will be going to Monica Rodriguez from Ibarra Elementary.
Up next, we have a Raisin Cane's gift basket. Raisin Cane.
This, Whitaker from Ibarra Elementary.
Up next, a $30 gift card from Saltgrass and a round of golf to Tierra Santa.
Jesus Segura Maintenance Department.
Make sure you pick. There you go. Up next, we have a $50 gift card from Walmart.
This goes to Joanna Hernandez from Westlaco East High School.
All right, giving away another prize. We actually have 38 prizes to give away here. A $50 Visa gift card from Busy Bristles.
Israel Garcia from Westlaco East High School.
Up next, we have a polo shirt from the athletic department combined with a $25 gift card to Arturo's.
And this goes to Claudia Ortiz, Rico Elementary.
Up next, we have a gift basket from Fred Solis's Portal Beauty Escape.
This gift basket will be going to Rodolfo Zavila Dominguez from the maintenance department.
Up next, we have a $30 Cinemark gift card with a cross pin.
Noel Leal, maintenance department.
Up next, Kendra Scott Jewelry. Kendra Scott Jewelry.
Carlos Gonzalez, custodial department.
Let's spin it around a little bit. Airport Elementary is giving me some dirty looks. All right, here we go.
Let's see.
Up next is a $25 Home Depot gift card with a water bottle.
And this goes to Nora Ramirez, Weslaco East High School.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card from Olive Garden.
Minerva Navarro from Ibarra Elementary.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to the Blue Onion and a Coach brand jewelry.
And this goes to Arnulfo Gaitan from the Custodial Department.
Up next, we have a gift basket from Cece's Pizza.
Lorena Camacho from Rico Elementary.
Up next, we have a $50 Visa gift card.
Mayra Hogue from Ibarra Elementary.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to Milano's and a $25 gift card from A Cut Above.
Carlos Martinez, Technology Department.
Okay, I was just told that I skipped a big prize. Let's go back to number 13, a 32-inch LED TV from Jeff Everett and Associates.
Jose de Leon, Maintenance Department.
Up next, we have an Everything Finder. It's a tile. GPS, I believe.
Alicia Vela, Airport Elementary.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to Barbie Cuties.
The winner is none other than Felipe Cid, Cuellar Middle School.
Up next, we have earrings donated by our superintendent and a $25 gift card from Academy.
Amelia Ramirez, Weslaco East High School.
Up next, we have a gift card to Golden Corral for $25.
Gilberto Leal, Transportation Department.
All right, let's give away another television. This one's a 43-inch Samsung TV donated by Guerra Funeral Home.
This TV will be going to Maria Guzman, Mary Hogue Middle School.
Up next, we have a gift card, $25 gift card to Chili's.
Jose Olivo, Custodial Department.
Up next, another gift card, $25 Visa gift card.
Estela Garcia, Weslaco East High School.
Okay, up next we have a $25 gift card to Cortino's.
Maria Salas, Transportation Department.
Up next, another gift card, an Amazon gift card.
Jerry Olguin, Safety and Security Department.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to Longhorn Steakhouse.
This goes to none other than Jesse Alvarez, Weslaco East High School.
Up next, we have a Amari Soap gift basket.
Norma Lopez, Weslaco East High School.
Up next, we have a gift card, a $25 gift card to Jason's Deli.
Billy Rivera, Rico Elementary.
Up next, a gift card, $25 to Olive Garden.
Coralie Rickford, Safety and Security Department.
Up next, we have a Tio Roberto's gift basket and Wells gift card.
Roberto Gonzalez, Safety and Security Department.
Airport Elementary is telling me to spin it again. Let's do it slowly. How's that? All right, try it again. Okay, hold on. Up next is a $50 gift card, MasterCard gift card, $50.
Manuel Moreno, Transportation Department.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to Olive Garden.
San Juanita Huino, Custodial Department.
A few more prizes to give away. Let's put up our slide real quick. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors. We can take a look at that. Thank them all for donating their prizes here, these door prizes this afternoon. We appreciate it. Up next will be a $50 gift card to Arturo's. $50 gift card to Arturo's.
Roel Saldaña, Maintenance Department.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to the Bucha Bar and Tap Room.
Serapio Hernandez, Maintenance Department.
All right, because this is the last one, we got ourselves a 40-inch Vizio Smart TV donated by Precinct 1 Commissioner David Fuentes.
This is going to Rosalinda Guerra, Margot Elementary.
If you didn't win a prize, don't worry, because everyone will receive an Arctic stainless steel 32-ounce water bottle from the school district. They'll be delivered to you by your supervisor.
Now, as we get ready for another school year here at WISD, we want you to know that anything is possible when you believe.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will when you believe. In this time of fear, when prayer so often proved in vain, hope seemed like the summer birds too swiftly flown away. Yet now I'm standing here with heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will when you believe. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you Nahi Javahastaha Sukata Ashira 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 Ladonai King Oga Ashira Ladonai King Oga Mi Hamocha Bailim Adonai Mi Hamocha Neda Bagodesh Nahi Javahastaha Sukata Nahi Javahastaha Sukata Ashira Ashira Ashira. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will.
Y ya llegamos los amigos de Conjunto Salvaje para todos ustedes. A ver, un aplauso. Y es una que dice, y así. Salvaje. Cuando te vi por primera vez, ¿a qué momento no puedo olvidar? Cuando te vi por primera vez, ¿a qué momento no puedo olvidar? Y me la paso pensando en ti, sin olvidar qué manera de mirar. Que ya la paso pensando en ti, sin olvidarte nunca jamás, Yolanda.
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda,
y por ti me muero.
Yolanda, cántala, cántala.
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda,
y me desespero.
y solo espero que me digas que sí, para no vivir desesperado. Y solo espero que me digas que sí, para no vivir desesperado. En un tiempo me hiciste tan feliz, las pocas horas que pasé a tu lado. En un tiempo me hiciste tan feliz, las pocas horas que pasé a tu lado, Yolanda.
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda, cántala.
y por ti me muero.
Yolanda,
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda,
y me desespero.
y solo espero que me digas que sí, para no vivir desesperado. Y solo espero que me digas que sí, para no vivir desesperado. En un tiempo me hiciste tan feliz, las pocas horas que pasé a tu lado. En un tiempo me hiciste tan feliz, las pocas horas que pasé a tu lado, Yolanda.
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda,
y por ti me muero.
Yolanda,
Sabes que te quiero,
Yolanda.
y me desespero.
Los amigos de Conjunto Salvaje, a ver, un aplauso. A ver, un aplauso para Conjunto Salvajes. Gracias, gracias.
How about one more? Would you like to hear another one? Well, then you gotta get up and dance. Let's go.
Y eso que dice más o menos.
Turn on the lights, Joe.
Hacer una cumbia vallenata. Voy a hacer una cumbia vallenata para que bailes conmigo este ritmo guapachoso, para que goces conmigo este ritmo contagioso. Moviéndote suavecito, moviendo ya tus caderas, es un ritmo que te mueve por donde sea. Ay, esta cumbia vallenata. Ay, esta cumbia vallenata. ese ritmo guapachoso, para que goces conmigo, ese ritmo contagioso. Moviéndote suavecito, moviendo ya tus caderas, ese ritmo que te mueve por donde sea. Ay, esta cumbia vallenata, ay, esta cumbia vallenata. Suavecito, moviendo ya tus caderas, es un ritmo que te muerde por donde sea. Ay, esa cumbia vallenata, ay, esa cumbia vallenata.
How about a big hand for everybody here this afternoon? How about a big hand for our soloists, Victoria Corona and Alexis Rodriguez? Come out back on stage, please. Our two soloists, also the choir from Westlaco High School and Westlaco East. I'd also like to recognize the Westlaco High School and Westlaco East Orchestra. Please stand up. Also like to recognize our MCs, Mario Trevino, George Cancino, Red Carpet host Daniel Robledo and Taylor Winkle from KRP Channel 5. And now a big hand from West High School, Conjunto Salvaje. Thank you very much, and thank you for making WISD the right choice. That concludes our program. Have a great 2019.
Gracias a todos. Gracias. Ahí tenemos